Good morning. I'm chuckling because I didn't go to bed till after midnight, and still I woke up between 3:30 and 4 o'clock this morning. And I got up to do my video, even though I'm feeling totally exhausted. Before I went to bed last night, I posted that on Facebook that I had received, during the time that I was gone until I got home last night, I had received 292 emails. And of course, during the time that I was answering and going through those emails, the number went up by another, I don't know how many. I didn't look at it, but another 20 or 30 emails came in while I was clearing out as many of them as possible, as fast as I possibly could. And this is a workshop weekend, as I mentioned, and I was gone for over 13 hours yesterday from the computer. So that 292 is basically a little over a half a day's emails. And it is amazing. But I'm not complaining. I'm saying thank you, God, for giving me the opportunity to impact people's lives in what I believe is a positive and loving way. And my talk today, the title that I chose, is Only Love Will Allow the Revolution to Succeed. There is a lot of anger as people discover the lies and the corruption at the root of the world system that reaches every one of us. We have all, that's 100%, been affected by this. Even the 1% are victims, though they appear to be the victimizers. However, behind all the fear and anger is the love. And love is the cosmic power of transformation. My friend Bruce Morgan used to say that love is the only environment in which growth is possible. And he was referring to spiritual growth. And as I sit here this morning, and as those words come out of my mouth, and as I'm reminded, because quite honestly, I don't know what I'm going to talk about today, so I have to trust Spirit to give me the energy and to give me the words. But as those words, only love, or love is the only environment that facilitates or allows or encourages growth, true evolutionary growth and transformation. I am reminded of the many people that I have witnessed in workshops over the years. As they come into an environment that's safe, that everyone is allowed to be themselves, authentic, genuine, and to tell their story. And oh, the stories I have heard over the years. In this workshop, in previous workshops, I'm sure it happens in all workshops where people are given permission, without judgment, without condemnation, to say, this is what happened to me. There have been victims and victimizers that have participated in workshops, those that have been wounded and those that have wounded others. Are any of us truly exempt from that? If you think that you've only been the victim and never the victimizer, then you don't understand the whole pattern of victimization. You don't understand it. And neither do most of us, neither have very many of us yet grasp the significance of the role of victimization in the awakening. I have mentioned it again and again on my videos, that it is the dark forces or the dark elements of our world that actually spur on the changes. Because as it said in the Declaration of Independence, as long as abuses are sufferable, people will continue to make the best of the situation. And it's only when the abuses become insufferable that people rise up and demand the changes that are necessary to make the world a better place for all of us. We recognize, if we're honest with ourselves, that the world that we live in, even the religions of the world that we live in, have not produced that safe environment to be authentic, to be real. They have not produced what they preach, the love that they talk about as the center of their religion. And so they have fallen short again and again of producing the real change that we are now witnessing being produced as human consciousness evolves to unity and to love. We are recognizing, as we never have before, the interconnectedness of all life. This is a quintessential element in what's happening. As long as we stay alienated from ourselves and from each other, and from our Creator, however we define that, as long as we stay alienated from the truth, we will continue to see the polarization, the war, the upheaval, the abuse, because that's simply the nature of the lie. The lie that we are separate one from another is the essential condition that has created the world that we have lived in and experienced for ourselves, life after lifetime, as one of the lines in the poem that I shared yesterday indicated. And we've all lived many lifetimes. Whether souls on this planet only or in the cosmos, it makes no difference. Because as my friend Ari from Greece says, or as Ristos, as he says, I forgot what he says. As I go to correct his name, the thought completely left my mind. But as I say, it's the 100%. It's the 100% that brings the change. And it's happening in all of us. We all have to come home to recognize the shadow is part of us. We are, as I've said again and again, the microcosms of the macrocosm. That means you and me, as individuals, contain everything that's out there. We contain all the brainwashing. We contain all of the anger and the rage at the attempt, apparently, of others to control us. That's what we see often. But truthfully, it's the attempt of our own, what we have labeled the ego, to prove itself as right. And if it's trying to prove a lie, it's a mission destined to failure. Because you can't prove a lie. A lie is always going to be a lie. And separation is a lie. Lack is a lie. The conditions that we see manifested in our world are basically illusions because they are basically not true. They are essentially unreal. And we have been unconscious, most of us, most of our lives, about the unreality of the world we've lived in. We've been so sucked in. We've been so sucked in to the conditions and the circumstances, thinking that those were the real things, thinking that our bodies were all of us that there was. And because we see them as separate one from another, we think that separation is the reality. So we create lack in our experience. We create an abundance of messages to ourselves that we're living a lie. But until the situations become insufferable, we don't wake up. And how many people have I seen? How many people have you seen? How many people do we know that have carried the abuse within their soul, within their heart, have been the wounded children of this game called prodigal children, where we wanted to go into the far country together and to have our inheritance given to us as creators, as children of God, and going in to grow up in the land of illusion. But underneath all of the experience has been the matrix of our world. Underneath all of that human experience has been a divine purpose. And that divine purpose is awakening within us, individually and collectively. And love is the allowance to tell the truth. Love is the energy. Love is the environment in which we are able to thrive, using the title of that new movie that some like and some don't. Some still see the devil behind every bush and still see the polarization and still live in fear and are still convinced that the power, apparent power of force and coercion that the world has operated on is the upper hand essence of what's going on in our world, that the dark forces will necessarily have control because they have the gun power, the fire power, they have the power of the media, they have the power of government, they have the power of the police and the militaries, they have the power of coercion and force. But the real power is beyond all of that and stronger than all that I've said. For the real power is the truth. The real power is love, and love and truth are one. So all of our brainwashing is coming home to roost. We've brainwashed ourselves. We've lied to ourselves, folks. It's no wonder that the governments have done this to us, because we've done it to ourselves, individually, every one of us. And if you can't see it yet, it means you haven't gone far enough down the rabbit hole. You haven't peeled off enough layers of your own awareness to be able to see. But that peeling off is happening right now in so many lives around the world. And I'm so appreciative that I can play a small role, just a small role, in helping others to awaken and to see the truth and to find, each for him and herself, that environment where you're allowed to be authentic and genuine, where you can take off your masks and stop playing your roles and just say, this is how I feel, this is how I think, this was my experience. And many of the experiences have been horrendous, and many of the feelings have been negative emotions that have been suppressed again and again, lifetime after lifetime, because we thought we had to hide our skeletons in the closet. Well, the skeletons are coming out, and everything that's been hidden is coming to the light. This is the no time between the end of the Mayan calendar and the end of the Mayan calendar. Pick to your point which end you want to talk about. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Those are just dates and they don't matter. This is no time. This is no time, and yet it's the time where love is remembered, and love is transforming me and transforming you. And together, we are the change we have been waiting for. We are the ones that have come to set the world aright and to make a world that works for everyone, that is sustainable because it is founded on a foundation that is eternal in the heavens and has been the entire purpose and mission and meaning of all that we have experienced. Love yourself this morning and recognize that the Creator has always loved us, even when we forgot who the Creator was. Rise up now from wherever you are and say thank you. Thank you for the journey that you've allowed yourself and that your Creator has allowed you. Thankful for the freedom to express even lies and to even believe the lies were true. Thank you for everything. Be grateful today, whether you're tired as I am, whether you feel sometimes a little bit overwhelmed by the responsibilities that you have in the world. Be thankful that you can respond and that you can still find within yourself the heart of truth and the heart of love. I leave you with these thoughts this morning. And once again, I thank you for listening. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being willing to make this journey into the far country, forgetting who you were, only to at this time reawaken and remember that each of us is a son and daughter of the living God. Namaste. Thank you very much.